You offer healing sessions in your services. Could you just briefly discuss what a session would be like?
Well, it's kind of like what we just did right now. We just talk about what is the major obstacle a person has mentally, emotionally, or physically. Sometimes it's just what we said. Like sometimes people are falsely assuming that a situation they're in is perfect, and that they shouldn't have these feelings or not. And they're getting gaslit all over the place. And sometimes they'll say, "Well, listen, this does seem based on your own constitution or your own beingness. It seems like this situation could change, and it might be for your benefit, right?" Oh, and other times it could be just helping people break misconceptions about themselves, so that way they can get to know their internal wisdom and find out what is the right decision they should make for themselves. Because in the end, nobody can make your decision for you. It has to do with, like I said before, everything has to do with your own elevation of consciousness. It has to do with your own enlightenment process. So sometimes the biggest dramas in your life are about helping you find freedom within, and then therefore an expression of your freedom. And then that may mean that you lead or you leave a situation, or sometimes it may help you elevate that situation. But either way, freedom is the paradigm through which you sit. So I help people find their way into a deeper level of freedom. That's what I do. And I know it's very ambiguous. I'm not a good salesperson when it comes to this stuff, because it's just like, if I do
I don't know, man. I think this has been a pretty good sales pitch personally, but
in the end, like just pray that you never get to know me personally. I think you could take it, actually. Honestly, I think you could take it. I really, like, there's something I can resonate. I really can see that you would be, you're a real truth seeker. You're willing to die for truth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Most people aren't willing to die for truth, but when you're at that stage, that means you're going to go all the way. It's going to be challenging along the way here and there, but ultimately it'll always lead you to a freer, more Garden of Eden type of experience. And it's an incredible blessing. If you have the ability or the specific talent to say, I'll die for truth, I'll die for God, I'll die for the universe, whatever, that is the most powerful path. If you can do that, there's no obstacle that will be too great for you, which is why you chanted the Ganesha mantra, which is basically remover of obstacles, right? So yeah, in the end, I do sessions to help people. I don't do a lot of them, but here and there, yeah, somebody will come and say, listen, I'm just stuck at this one part. Like, I'm chanting this mantra and this is coming up. Like, is this really something I should take seriously? Or is this something that's just another cleanse? Like, what do I do with this? And through the blending of my energy with them, not on purpose, like I'm not, like the invasion of the body snatchers. But like we have Wi-Fi, this is how we're talking. So every person emanates something. So through just connection with a person or a teacher that has realized a certain level, what happens is that some of that level becomes a benefit to the student in that moment and helps them find a deeper level of freedom. So that's the beautiful thing about guru, teacher. It's not about a guru, because guru in Sanskrit means dispeller of darkness. It doesn't mean expert in information. That's the big thing I made a mistake with. Like when people said guru to me a long time ago, like, oh, that person just thinks they know everything, what a
right, yeah.
Like, that's the first thing, what kind of word. But then I learned, in Sanskrit, it means dispeller of darkness, which is meaning, the darkness that you've created within yourself that has created this cave of suffering. They dispel that so you can walk out of the cave. So you can be a part of the whole universe, like that you can start experience the freedom of your life, right? And so that's all guru means. And a real guru will basically help you find freedom from everything, including them. And if you come back to them, it's because there's a love that you're there with, but it's not because they're constraining you or forcing you to be stuck in a belief system or fanatical thinking that keeps you stuck, like a cult or something.
Right.
So that's it, So yeah, so it's a free form thing. And then my workout channel, Natural Blind Bodybuilding, I just teach people how to apply the same type of techniques to their training, because I find a lot of people they get stuck in this fanatical thinking where they just torture themselves in the basement dungeon gym and say, I should be this or should be that. And then they ignore like simple things like how their body should move as opposed to how it naturally moves for them, Yeah.
Well, so your bodybuilding services somewhat overlap with your
it's majorly overlapping, because actually years ago, I don't know how much of my workout videos you watched. It's more stupid humor stuff and everything. And
I've watched a few of them. I enjoy them.
It probably works more against my business than anything, because people go, this guy's, he's an idiot. Like, but and I have fun, so who cares? So anyway, what happens is that when I first stepped on the YouTube, I thought, I was a national champion. I was a pro in natural bodybuilding. I was on the cover of magazines. I was famous and all that. People will listen to what I have to say when it comes to simple things, when it comes to weight training, at least my suggestions, right? And boy, was I wrong. People got on there and they had their Google out. And they're like, no, you're doing everything wrong. You did everything wrong,
Yeah.
even though you wanted. So I realized, wow, there's this massive fanatical thinking that's stuck in the physicality where people are taking things and becoming like religious zealots around lifting weights and around what their body, what they should eat, how they should exercise, like everything to do with the body. They're so identified instead of actually realizing the law of individuality, where each body has its own individual expression, which needs certain tweaking. And if you just try to do whatever somebody else is doing, you might actually hurt yourself instead of help yourself, you know? So this is really the enlightenment path, is about embracing the truest you, the authentic you, which has nothing to do with idealism or fitting into a template. It has to do with thy shall be done, you know? Like what is just naturally moving through you is what naturally moves through you, but it has nothing to do with your mind making it happen. You ever try to make yourself love somebody?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
You know, it doesn't work very good, you know?
No, yeah, it
Love
does.
is a naturally occurring thing when you allow, and then there can be emotional love, and then there's the universal, like whatever, that's a different discussion. But the bottom line is that an authentic movement of a feeling or a sensation is much more real than you trying to make it or fabricate it, like a photocopier machine. Oh, that's love. Okay, a Valentine. Just photocopy the Valentine. This is the same thing. It's like, no, it's not the same thing. That's like artificial intelligence love, right? Yeah, we don't want that.